Welcome to Daylight. Today is April 21st, 2026. In a chilling development that has captivated both the scientific community and the nation at large, the White House is investigating a perplexing string of deaths and disappearances involving 10 prominent scientists linked to critical research in nuclear and space technologies. Since 2023, these incidents have raised alarm bells about the possible implications for national security, innovation, and public trust in scientific endeavors. As we delve into the details, we must consider the backgrounds of these individuals, their contributions to groundbreaking research, and the secrets that may have been buried along with them. The circumstances surrounding these deaths and vanishings are notably enigmatic, prompting speculation that could oscillate between the realms of tragedy and conspiracy. President Trump has publicly expressed hope that these incidents are merely random occurrences, but the absence of clear explanations has only intensified the atmosphere of uncertainty. The implications of such losses extend far beyond the personal, touching on the integrity of key scientific initiatives that underpin advancements in both space exploration and nuclear safety. Join us as we analyze this urgent situation, meticulously unpacking the facts and factors that may illuminate a clearer picture of this investigation. The Trump administration is currently investigating a troubling pattern involving the deaths and disappearances of key scientists associated with nuclear and aerospace research. Since 2023, 10 individuals linked to classified space and nuclear projects in the United States have either mysteriously died or vanished, raising questions about a potential nexus among these incidents. President Trump expressed concern during a recent press briefing, stating, "I hope it's random, but we're going to know in the next week and a half," and emphasizing the seriousness of these occurrences. The White House Press Secretary, Caroline Leavitt, acknowledged inquiries regarding these incidents and confirmed an active investigation is underway by federal agencies, including the FBI and the Department of Energy. Leavitt noted that the administration is working to identify any potential commonalities that may exist among the cases. This investigation follows a growing public interest and concern, particularly after a reporter questioned whether the administration was indeed looking into these events, prompting Leavitt to assert her intention to confer with relevant agencies for further clarification. This scrutiny was sparked further by the fact that some of the scientists involved had significant roles in sensitive military or aerospace research. Among the notable cases, General William Neal McCasland, a retired Air Force officer, mysteriously disappeared in late February 2026. McCasland had led secretive projects at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, a center often linked to UAP research. His vanishing, occurring along with several others, has caught the law enforcement and public's attention due to his extensive knowledge of national defense secrets. The list continues with scientists from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL. Research scientist Michael David Hicks died in July 2023 with no cause of death publicly noted. Following Hicks, Frank Mywald, another JPL researcher, died in July 2024 without a disclosed cause. In a separate incident, Carl Grillmeyer, a prominent astrophysicist, was shot and killed in February 2026 while on his doorstep, a crime that involved a suspect known for previous armed trespassing on Grillmeyer's property. Such violent occurrences heighten concern within the scientific community about the safety of individuals involved in critical state research. Stephen Garcia, a former contractor at nuclear facilities with high-level security clearance, vanished in August 2025 after leaving his home, reportedly armed. Contrary to initial police assessments suggesting mental instability, friends argue that Garcia exhibited no signs of being suicidal, further complicating understanding of his disappearance. Similarly, Anthony Chavez and Melissa Cassius, both associated with the Los Alamos National Laboratory, disappeared during 2025 after leaving their residences under ambiguous circumstances. The juxtaposition of their security clearances and their sudden vanishings prompts investigation into whether there are underlying connections that could indicate a directed or systemic issue impacting individuals in such positions. Nuno Loureiro's high-profile murder while engaged in fusion research at MIT alongside the deaths of other scientists like Jason Thomas, whose body was recovered months after his disappearance, further emphasize the alarming frequency of violent incidents or mysterious circumstances surrounding scientific professionals engaged in critical research, particularly in the fields of aerospace and nuclear technology. The investigation is broadening to include all scientists involved in or related to the aforementioned cases, now encompassing 11 individuals whose circumstances have drawn federal scrutiny, highlighting connections between their work environments and the nature of their deaths or disappearances. In some instances, there seem to be overlapping professional engagements, creating a pattern worthy of thorough exploration. Leavitt remarked on the troubling nature of these concurrent cases, affirming the administration's commitment to pursuing all angles of the investigation, as she remarked, "In light of the recent and legitimate questions about these troubling cases, the White House is actively working with all relevant agencies and the FBI." This statement aligns with President Trump's assertion that conclusive answers are expected soon, reiterating the urgency and significance ascribed to these incidents. As developments unfold, local law enforcement, including the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, maintains a primary role in some investigations, such as that of Monica Jacinto Reza, who vanished while hiking. Reza's case becomes critical due to her professional ties with McCasland, highlighting intersections of the scientific community and broader national security concerns. It is evident that the intertwining of scientific expertise and potential risks necessitates a deeper dive into why such cases are occurring and whether they signify a troubling trend or isolated incidents. In conclusion, the exigency of these incidents calls for a forensic approach to understanding not only the individual cases but the wider implications they hold on scientific research, national security, and the potential vulnerabilities faced by individuals working at the apex of technological advancement. The unfolding investigation aims to shed light on the significant overlaps and alarming trends that connect these disparate yet similarly alarming events, ultimately reflecting on the state of safety for scientists engaged in groundbreaking work. The investigation into the puzzling deaths and disappearances of over 10 elite U.S. scientists has garnered increasing media attention and public speculation, leading to a formal announcement from the White House. Multiple cases involve individuals with ties to sensitive military, nuclear, and aerospace research, fields that often intersect with classified government work. President Donald Trump has firmly stated that the government is taking the matter seriously. On April 21, 2026, the FBI confirmed it is examining potential links among the recent cases of scientists, several of whom had access to sensitive information. The urgency behind this investigation appears to stem from a significant surge in online speculation regarding these incidents, most of which have unfolded since mid-2024. At the forefront of public discourse is the case of retired Air Force Major General William Neal McCasland, who vanished from his home in Albuquerque, New Mexico, in February. McCasland, with his substantial background in aerospace research, had not only overseen critical military operations, but was also previously connected To the Stars, an organization known for its focus on UFOs and extraterrestrial theories. His wife publicly dismissed speculation regarding his disappearance being linked to his past affiliations or the extraction of classified information. "It's quite unlikely that he was taken to extract very dated secrets from him," she asserted. The scope of the investigation has widened following the addition of an 11th individual to the growing list of missing or deceased scientists. Amy Eskridge, co-founder of the Institute for Exotic Science and known for her work on experimental propulsion concepts, was found dead in 2022. Initially ruled a suicide by self-inflicted gunshot, her case now joins the other suspicious incidents as a matter of ongoing scrutiny. Fox News has brought attention to the thematic connections between these scientists, who all possessed highly sensitive security clearances related to advanced research in nuclear or aerospace technology. According to Fox News reporter Peter Doocy, there are now reports of 10 scientists associated with sensitive research who have either inexplicably disappeared or died since 2024. The The White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, articulated the administration's proactive stance in addressing these alarming cases. In light of the recent and legitimate questions about these troubling cases and President Trump's commitment to the truth, the White House is actively working with all relevant agencies and the FBI to holistically review all of the cases together and identify any potential commonalities that may exist. This proactive narrative coincides with additional inquiries from U.S. congressional lawmakers, with some expressing concern over the unusually high number of incidents concentrated in areas tied to sensitive scientific research. Tennessee Rep. Tim Burchett, known for advocating increased government transparency concerning UFO intelligence, has called for more comprehensive investigations into the circumstances surrounding these incidents. Alongside McCasland's disappearance, reports of another scientist, Monica Reza, who vanished on June 22, 2025, have drawn parallels between the two cases. Reza, also involved in advanced materials research funded by agencies like NASA and the Air Force Research Laboratory, maintains a professional relationship with McCasland, who previously oversaw funding for similar scientific research. Following the revelation of her disappearance, analysts noted the absence of previous incidents prior to 2022, raising questions about a collective trend that could signal an underlying issue affecting classified research personnel. Adding complexity to the situation is the case of Stephen Garcia, a 48-year-old contractor last seen on August 28, 2025, who had top security clearance at the Kansas City National Security Campus, a facility manufacturing components for nuclear weapons. Garcia's disappearance, coupled with the alarming circumstances surrounding other scientists' fates, has only intensified public speculation. The National Nuclear Security Administration has acknowledged awareness of the ongoing investigations, although they too have refrained from confirming links between the individual cases currently under review. While officials have denied any immediate cause for alarm regarding national security, online forums have ignited with conspiracy theories suggesting a broad plot or coordinated effort to undermine U.S. military or space programs. The gravity of ongoing investigations is evident, given statements from NASA and the Department of Energy. NASA's commitment to transparency suggests a desire to mitigate public concern while working closely with federal investigators. Despite the lack of publicly available evidence directly tying these incidents to each other, the apparent trends pose serious questions regarding the safety of individuals engaged in sensitive research. By continuing to investigate and review these cases, the FBI and other relevant agencies hope to untangle the web of coincidences surrounding these events. As the investigation unfolds, public attention and media speculation will likely keep these cases in the spotlight, with political pressure driving the need for transparent outcomes and accountability. In light of the unfolding scenarios involving these elite researchers, the ramifications stretch beyond mere investigative procedures. The implications touch on national security, scientific integrity, and public trust in official narratives surrounding sensitive governmental operations. Balancing the response to media hype and grounded investigative actions will be key in determining the underlying reality of these baffling scientists' fates. As this story continues to develop, the tension surrounding each case underscores the intricate connection between classified research environments and potential threats, whether real or speculative. The upcoming revelations will be pivotal in shaping the narrative around this concerning trend. A troubling pattern has emerged involving the deaths and disappearances of 10 scientists and government workers linked to sensitive U.S. research programs, especially those related to nuclear initiatives and aerospace sciences. This phenomenon has prompted investigations by federal authorities, including the FBI, which seeks to determine if these cases share any connections that could indicate a more sinister narrative behind them. President Trump stated he was briefed on these cases, expressing concern while hopeful that these occurrences are mere coincidences. The investigation highlights several key figures. Stephen Garcia, a 48-year-old government contractor, disappeared on August 28, 2025, from Albuquerque while armed, raising alarms about his mental health. His role as a property custodian at the Kansas City National Security Campus, which manufactures non-nuclear components for nuclear weapons, facilitated a significant level of access and raised concerns regarding the potential implications of his disappearance. Frank Mywald, a renowned NASA researcher, died under ambiguous circumstances on July 4, 2024, at the age of 61. His achievements included overseeing the development of significant scientific instruments, but notably, no public cause of death has been disclosed. This lack of clarity contributes to a growing Freudian suspicion surrounding the series of incidents involving these specialists. On February 16th, Carl Grillmeyer, a key astrophysicist known for finding water around exoplanets, was shot dead at his residence, with no clear motive identified for the crime. Arrested in connection to the case was Freddie Snyder, a suspect without ties to Grillmeyer, but who had trespassed on his property previously, further complicating the investigation and eliciting online speculation regarding the true causes and connections among these deaths. Compounding this uncertainty, Michael David Hicks, another physicist who worked on NASA's DART project, died on July 30, 2023, with no clear explanation for his demise as well. In the case of William Neal McCasland, a retired Air Force general who disappeared on February 26, 2026, rumors swirled about his alleged connections to UFO programs, owing to his oversight of classified space weapons during his Air Force career. Speculation surrounding McCasland intensified following his disappearance, which included the unusual circumstances of him taking a wallet and a handgun, but leaving behind crucial personal items. His wife publicly refuted extravagant claims linking his vanishing to UFO-related conspiracies, asserting that he had retired over 10 years prior and possessed no significant knowledge of classified matters. Monica Jacinto Reza, who worked alongside McCasland, similarly disappeared while hiking on June 22, 2025. Her sudden vanishing act, coupled with her professional background in aerospace engineering, specifically her contributions to developing advanced metal alloys, further entwined her case within the larger narrative of scientific uncertainty and potential foul play. Two additional notable disappearances also raise eyebrows. Melissa Cassius, an administrative assistant at the Los Alamos National Laboratory, vanished on June 26, 2025, after taking her daughter to lunch. Her last sighting was while walking beside a highway without essential personal belongings. Anthony Chavez, formerly with Los Alamos, disappeared shortly before Cassius on May 4, 2025. Exhaustive searches and community engagement efforts failed to find any trace of him. Nuno Loureiro, an MIT professor, was also gunned down at his home on December 15, 2025. This act of violence has been linked to rivalries within the scientific community. However, details remain scant. The shooter had reportedly recently committed acts of violence elsewhere, raising questions regarding the motivations behind the attack on Loureiro. Lastly, the case of Jason Thomas illustrates a tragic conclusion to the string of incidents. Initially reported missing on December 12, 2025, his body was recovered from a Massachusetts lake on March 17, 2026. Such disparate outcomes establish a convoluted narrative filled with mystery and mayhem. The FBI's announcement of their investigation into these deaths was met with interest, particularly as it coincided with President Trump revealing he had discussed these mysteries in high-level meetings. The agency aims to work closely with the Departments of Energy and Defense to ascertain whether the occurrences are mere coincidences or indicative of something malign. This situation has also drawn attention from political representatives. For instance, Repeter Tim Burchett from Tennessee has expressed his concern over the unexplained nature of these tragic outcomes, labeling the number as very high within specific research sectors. He has raised alarms regarding the potential implications should certain information be concealed from the public. Despite assurances from NASA, which indicated no immediate national security threat relates to their operations, the unfolding events raise challenging questions about the safety and security of personnel working in state-of-the-art programs critical to national interests. Discussions among scientists, officials, and observers are swirling on social media, including platforms like Reddit, where collective speculation grows around a possible cover-up concerning these scientists' fates. This web of connections across diverse research domains and environmental contexts remains unspooled, with further inquiries anticipated. The investigation seeks clarity amid speculation, revealing a patchwork of severe incidents that are difficult to rationalize. The developments surrounding the cases of these scientists will likely be closely monitored as the investigations unfold, with assurance of ongoing scrutiny at a federal level amidst a backdrop of public concern and intrigue. A troubling trend has emerged surrounding the deaths and disappearances of scientists linked to sensitive U.S. nuclear and aerospace research. Reports from recent months indicate at least 10 such individuals have either perished under mysterious circumstances or vanished entirely. This alarming situation has prompted a federal probe spearheaded by the Republican-led House Oversight Committee, which is raising serious concerns about a potential connection among these incidents. The committee's ongoing investigation is targeting agencies that include the FBI, the Defense Department, the Department of Energy, and NASA, as lawmakers seek clarification amidst growing speculation about the implications for national security. Observations from various authorities suggest that the cases, while diverse in their specifics, range from homicides to unexplained disappearances with seemingly no foul play indicated. The inquiry began to intensify following the death of Michael David Hicks, a scientist with almost 25 years at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL, who died on July 30, 2023. His death, characterized by his daughter's assertions of known medical issues, adds layers of complexity to the overall narrative. As she conveyed, there's no train of logic to follow that would implicate him in this potential federal investigation. The involvement of numerous high-profile individuals has raised eyebrows. Frank Mywald, a space research specialist, passed away in Los Angeles in 2024, and aerospace engineer Monica Reza disappeared while hiking in June 2025. Reza was notably the director of the NASA Labs Materials Processing Group, indicating her key role in vital research efforts. The case of William Neal McCasland, a retired Air Force Major General who hasn't been seen since February 27, 2025, stands out particularly given his former oversight of advanced aerospace research at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. His wife, Susan McCasland Wilkerson, emphasized that conjectures tying his disappearance to his previous work were unfounded, stating, "This connection is not a reason for someone to abduct Neal." As investigations unfold, attention has turned to two additional individuals with ties to the Los Alamos National Laboratory, a hub significant for nuclear research. Melissa Casius, last seen walking near Talpa, New Mexico, and Anthony Chavez, a construction foreman who disappeared in May 2025, have drawn particular scrutiny from law enforcement and the broader community. In the realm of fatalities, the deaths of well-respected scientists continue to generate speculative commentary. Nuno F. G. Loureiro, a 47-year-old physicist at MIT, was fatally shot in December 2025 amid a horrific spate of violence that also claimed the lives of two students on the Brown University campus. Another tragic loss was that of Carl Grillmeyer, a 67-year-old astrophysicist who was shot in February 2026. Meanwhile, Matthew James Sullivan, a former intelligence officer who was poised to testify in a crucial UFO-related whistleblower case, died in circumstances that have led to inquiries regarding potential foul play. Representative Eric Burleson, who has vocalized concerns suggesting Sullivan's death was suspicious, stated he was scheduled to come in for an interview. Within 2 weeks, he had suspiciously committed suicide. The White House has reacted to the issue with urgency, reiterating the seriousness of the situation. President Donald Trump acknowledged the case's perplexing nature, remarking, "It's very unlikely that this is a coincidence," while underscoring that the matter is under serious federal scrutiny. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt stated that the administration is actively collaborating with relevant agencies to assess potential links between the cases, reinforcing a thorough review process. Added complexities arise as conflicting narratives emerge from families of affected individuals, with some attributing losses to pre-existing medical conditions or personal struggles. The family of Amy Eskridge, who passed away in 2022, emphasized the importance of understanding and contextualizing the realities of life for scientists. They expressed that people should realize that scientists die also, and not make too much of this. A statement that adds a poignant reminder about the fragility of life amidst a possible conspiracy narrative. Legislators, adopting a bipartisan approach, have emphasized the importance of identifying whether these cases could be indicative of a foreign operation targeting U.S. scientific expertise. A letter urging the FBI to investigate has been drafted, illustrating a unified concern across party lines regarding the well-being of national security and those who contribute to it. House Oversight Chair James Comer reinforced this idea, calling the deaths and disappearances pretty serious stuff, and indicating that Congress intends to focus significantly on this issue. Despite the federal probe's commencement, many questions remain unanswered. The FBI has yet to publicly disclose any investigations into these cases, with a director's statement suggesting that every avenue will be pursued to uncover connections that could indicate nefarious conduct or conspiracy. Officials stress that the investigation will scrutinize classified access and connections to foreign entities, which underscores the gravity with which the situation is being treated. In conclusion, the convergence of these mysterious events surrounding scientific professionals linked to crucial U.S. research raises disconcerting questions about the intersection of personal tragedy and potential national security threats. The continuing federal investigation and legislative inquiry seek to illuminate the truth behind these troubling occurrences, as the ramifications of these cases resonate deeply within the scientific community and beyond. The investigation into the disappearance and deaths of 10 scientists associated with government agencies has evolved into a matter of substantial concern, prompting the FBI's involvement at the direction of the White House. This issue, originating from a sequence of tragic and perplexing events commencing in 2023, has generated multifaceted narratives with implications that are both national and potentially international in scope. The report indicates that among the missing or deceased individuals are scientists linked with significant research entities, including NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL, in Pasadena and Caltech. Michael Dow Hicks, a JPL researcher, died in July 2023, followed by his colleague Frank Maywald, a principal researcher, also succumbing in July 2024. The notable case of Monica Cinto-Raza, an aerospace engineer at JPL, stands out. She disappeared while hiking in June 2025 with a companion in the Angeles National Forest. Additionally, the violent death of Carl Gilmar, a Caltech astrophysicist who was shot outside his residence, raises further questions about the nature and circumstances surrounding these events. This unusual cluster of incidents has sparked heightened scrutiny and speculation regarding potential foul play. Quotes from various officials reflect a growing consensus that something more may be afoot, given the temporal clustering and professional profiles of the individuals involved. Lawmakers have expressed serious concerns, with one stating the situation has all the hallmarks of a foreign operation against the U.S. The language adopted in official circles is noticeably grave, as evidenced by the bipartisan letter currently being drafted that urges a comprehensive FBI investigation into these cases. President Trump, having been briefed on these grave occurrences, remarked on the severity of the situation, noting his hope for clarity as investigations progress. "Pretty serious stuff," he commented, acknowledging the potential coincidence of the incidents while also calling for a thorough examination due to the prominence of the individuals involved. His statement reflects a tone of urgency and concern. As he stated, investigators are exploring whether there is any linkage among the cases, which currently appear disparate but are united by the sensitive nature of the work these scientists perform. Despite the unfolding investigations, reports indicate that there have not been verifiable threats against the American scientific community. This critical detail adds a contradictory layer to the narrative, suggesting that while the incidents warrant scrutiny, there is also the possibility that these events may not be interconnected at all. Industry experts assert that the environment for scientific inquiry remains largely secure, with science purportedly thriving, especially following milestones such as the successful Artemis II mission. Emphasizing the complexity of the situation, officials from the FBI have indicated that the cases largely fall under local jurisdiction and that the Bureau will offer assistance only if necessary. This point further complicates the potential paradigm of the investigation, as the federal agency delineates its role in what can only be described as an uncomfortable convergence of local tragedies and national concern. The reticence from federal law enforcement may reflect a desire to avoid inciting panic amid a backdrop of public anxiety. In isolating the incidents, the profiles of the deceased and missing scientists illustrate a high level of competence and influence within their respective fields, implicating potentially significant ramifications for national security. The mystery surrounding these losses could signify vulnerabilities within crucial government and military research sectors. Indeed, lawmakers and analysts alike are questioning the implications of such a loss of human capital, which includes intellectual contributions that may be pivotal to the United States' strategic interests. Nonetheless, the absence of reliable evidence connecting the cases requires a meticulous and forensic analysis that must be carefully navigated in the public discourse. As timestamps of death and disappearance are examined, the investigation's integrity hinges upon the systematic collection and analysis of data points that may reveal patterns or anomalies needing further exploration. Each detail, whether it be an unexplained death, a sudden disappearance, or an act of violence, is crucial in piecing together a larger puzzle that continues to be disassembled through investigative efforts. The political implications of these tragedies are equally complex, as concerns about national security intertwine with public expectations for accountability and transparency from government agencies. The dynamic thereby influences how information is disseminated and interpreted, with calls for fortifying not merely the scientific arena, but also the broader fabric of community and societal health. As details continue to emerge, the convergence of scientific integrity, governmental inquiry, and national security necessitates a vigilant and methodical approach. The ramifications of these incidents extend beyond the individuals involved. They touch upon core issues of public safety, national interests, and the ethical responsibilities inherent in scientific research. The forensic examination of these cases promises to unveil deeper connections, whether they reside in coincidence or orchestrated efforts deviating into darker realms of subterfuge. Thus, as citizens await clarity, investigators are poised on the precipice of significant findings that may redefine the narrative surrounding these tragic losses. The intersection of science, security, and governmental oversight continues to evolve, marking a pivotal chapter in ongoing discourses surrounding the safety and efficacy of the American scientific enterprise.